worry about the fish he caught, and his hands like keep doing this progressively.
Mm-hmm. It's been me once. All right, we're good. So let's do the clap. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, welcome to the Hunters Hub video game podcast born in the Monster Hunter community. This is your host, Fortuan, joined by co-host Sasha. How we doing tonight?
Good. I'm interested to see how tonight goes. Had a really busy week, and I have not studied at all.
Yeah, that was. I like your flash studying just before we started recording.
That's right. Yeah, just like high school.
Flashcards, right? Just
Yeah.
1997. This is the games. And welcome Ace. Welcome back.
So the flash studying is as she clicks between the tabs for the different years.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
do.
Yeah, I mean, an easy way to do it is just look at the release list from. Yeah, there you go. Look at the release list on the Wikipedia, because like they have like a games of this year, and that's what I use to find the games. So that might be a good study.
Oh,
sheet.
good to know. Good to know. You just gave us a good clue for next time.
In gaming.
Yeah. I mean, I actually look at the list. I don't just like pick the highlights. I actually look through the full release list. So, well, I try. This is I do put effort into this, folks. I try.
So, we appreciate it.
So today is quiz show number 7. So this is like 7 months of doing this now. I don't know. I've kind of
7 months of Ace buried in the ground.
Hey, you know what?
Face down in the dirt.
I believe in you, Ace. You'll get your title eventually.
This could be your night.
It could be.
You said that most times before, and then it turns
You've gotten really close. If we were playing horseshoes, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through the quiz stuff, and we have stuff. We'll probably have stuff to talk about afterwards. Like I saw Jurassic World Dominion. Apparently the reviews are really bombing that movie like hard. So I'm here to tell you, don't listen to those reviews. I love this movie. There's a bit from Jeff Goldblum that we were crying laughing, my friend and I. We were crying laughing because he's insane in this movie. Like he brings his Jeff Goldblum energy, but like in a serious, like he plays a serious role in this movie. It's not like the what was the third Thor movie? What was that one? Ragnarok, where he plays just this weird guy who's essentially alien Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah.
It's not like that where where he's not off the rails. He's playing a serious part, but they're in this serious part he makes some real banger jokes. Like there's a part where well, I can't remember the guy's name. Chris Pratt, his characters.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Owen,
there you go. Owen is carrying the baby velociraptor on the pack, and mid-sentence Jeff Goldblum notices it, and he's like, "Is that a dinosaur on your back?" Because they've been running from dinosaurs the whole movie. Like, it's just the way he delivers it is pretty good. So, but he's one part of this awesome movie. Anyways, we'll get to the quizzes. So, for recap for the listeners, these years we're going to be doing are 1997, 2004, 2009, 2013, and 2018. And it occurred to me while writing these questions, we have not done 2004 or 2009, despite this being the 7th episode. So
yeah,
I was shocked considering on our podcast episode that kind of predated this quiz where we talked about the best year in video games, 2004 was our winner of best year. So why didn't we talk about it? I don't know how we didn't talk about 2009. I know I randomly picked these years, but I don't know how I didn't randomly pick these two at all. Well, we've had to do some of them to I've only ever done 1 year twice. I think I went back through and looked. We've only ever done 1 year twice.
Negligence. It's negligence.
This is like just the worst years for me to not study.
I'm
There's so
sorry.
many good games. So many good games.
Oh yeah, no. Look, I mean, there's a reason why 2004 was our winning year because 2004 is stacked. So
Well, yeah, because World of Warcraft is 2004. That's why it won.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's a major reason why it won, but there's other
That
games
seems.
that are really big in 2004.
Yeah.
So
Yes, there are.
without further ado, I don't know where we left off on who's picking what, but we'll have to do this thing where we're just not doing a game because there's two of us. Our third didn't show up tonight, so who are we
You
starting
let me
with?
down, Brian. You let me down.
He probably had something come up. I mean, he's got a busy life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a coin. Oh, I usually have a coin somewhere. You know how many coins I had to flip for the two girls? Who's getting out of the bath first? Who's doing this first? Like, I think I'd have a coin everywhere.
Just at the ready.
Whatever.
He's got like a specific coin sheath attached to his belt.
Sasha, as the current belt holder, I'll let you pick whether you go first or second.
Oh, I'm gonna let Ace go first.
Okay. Alrighty. So, a little explanation for the fans. If you're first time tuning into this, we're going to get I'm going to say a year. The contestants have 3 clues to get the game. On the first clue, 3 points, second clue, 2 points, third clue, 1 point, and they're going to take turns trying to guess the game. If they can't get it, the other person can steal at the level of points that they're at, and we've done this a lot, so hopefully you know what we're talking about. But we're going to be going through 5 years, so that's 2 games apiece, and then there'll be an unsaid whole game, which we will do what we did last time. Can you together achieve the third game and get it right? So we'll try that one. The PvE fight afterwards that we do. So first year 1997. Ace, games A, B, or C?
I guess I will start with A.
A? Okay. So, first question for game A, 1997. In this game, you take on the form of the villain, protecting your lair from the heroes.
I'll go for a second clue.
All right. Upon completion, Peter Molyneux decided to leave Bullfrog Games, going on to later create games such as Fable. So upon completion of this game is what it's implied.
I mean, that was just as much help as the third question. I'll go for final clue, I guess.
All right. Final clue. Digging out your dungeon, paying your minions, and keeping them happy made for a unique twist on the usually open map design of strategy games.
I am clueless, but I guess I'll guess Diablo.
You don't play the villain in Diablo. You play the heroes.
Like I said,
Okay.
this has left me clueless, and I have
So,
no idea.
That's not it. Sasha, do you have a steal?
No, I don't have a steal. That's worth mentioning. Man, I have no idea. Like I said, really bad time to not study. Let's go with Castlevania.
No, it's not Castlevania. The correct answer, unfortunately, is Dungeon Keeper.
Womp womp. I've never heard of that.
Sorry.
I have heard of Peter Molyneux, but because of the other game you mentioned.
Yeah, it was notable because it was Peter Molyneux's last game at Bullfrog Games. So some people found that a notable thing. I played this game, I knew it, but Peter Molyneux, being the star developer he is, attracted attention to this game. All right, so Sasha,
I didn't think it was Diablo. I should have just taken dungeon from one of the hints and been like, dungeon master, dungeon keeper,
Is obviously Dungeon Man.
Dungeon Man.
dungeon sweeper.
I like Dungeon Man. That sounds fun. So Sasha, game B or C?
C.
Alrighty. Game C, first question. This sequel managed to take platforming from a new perspective, often having the character move toward or away from the screen instead of side to side like static angled platformers.
Oh man. Okay. Okay.
Ace,
I'll take the
your face
take
is
the
like,
next clue.
I have no clue. All right. So, second question. While also being a 3D platformer, the argument could be made that it is a collectathon. Finding all of the crystal was the only way to 100% the game. This also required every box to be broken in every level.
I'm gonna go with Crash 2.
That is correct for 2 points.
Yes.
Our first... Oh no. I messed up. Okay, so... we had Dungeon Keeper. I didn't write it down because no one got it. And then we had...
Dungeon Man.
Crash 2. Sasha, 2 points. All right.
Dungeon B&B.
Dungeon B&B.
Okay.
I like it. We're going to skip that one. Okay. Cool. So that is 1997 done. 2004, Sasha. Game A, B, or C?
I'm gonna go with C again.
All right. 2004, first clue. Often known for making games not like this, EA published a JRPG.
EA JRPG. EA JRPG. Huh. In 2004? Nobody had time for that.
They all had bronchitis.
No, they were all playing Warcraft. Give me another clue.
Sure. Featuring a campaign mode that follows the good guys is a pretty normal thing, but a second campaign mode that followed the bad guys made for a unique award for finishing the game.
I'll take the third clue.
Alrighty. Set in Middle Earth during the events of the popular movies, however, it did not feature any of the major characters, instead using similar characters, such as a human warrior not named Aragorn.
I have a guess. I just don't think it's 2004. Shadows of Mordor?
No, it is not Shadows of Mordor. Ace, do you have a guess?
Lord of the Rings. Battle for Middle Earth or something like that. I don't know.
That is a name of a game.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
That is a name of a game. It is not this game. Unfortunately.
That's a solid guess, because that would have been my next guess.
It is actually Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. So it was an EA published JRPG style game where you played as basically diet brands of all the heroes from Lord of the Rings. And
they really tried to release
so
that.
can I get like 50% since I said like 50% of the title?
No. Not on this one, buddy. I'm sorry. No. All right. Ace, game A or B?
B.
B? All right. 2004, game B. First clue. The first-person shooter was the first ever... This first-person shooter, was the first ever to use the Cry engine.
I guess I'll go for number 2.
Okay, number 2. This Ubisoft game went on to produce many sequels and even the not so great movie later in 2008. Ooh. Ooh, Sasha may have a clue on this one.
Number 3?
Number 3. Set in the fictional archipelago, the protagonist must explore this hostile open-world island to save an American reporter using wit, stealth, and firepower.
Oh, is this Hitman? Wait, no.
No, but I think it's Far Cry.
I think Sasha gets it for 1 point for Far Cry.
I've not played the first one.
Yeah, it's the
I
original Far
haven't
Cry.
either, but I have seen that terrible movie.
All right, so we had...
I mean, all the Hitman movies have not been great either.
I haven't seen any Hitman movies.
I did a watch party with one on Discord, and that was fun.
We should do it with Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
So we are skipping that one. Yeah, without having the third game in the year, we're just flying by. All right, 2009. We are back to Ace picking first. Game A, B, or C.
I'll go with C and mess up Sasha's plans.
Man.
Okay. 2009, first clue, game C. While RTS games were waning in popularity, this RTS appeared on the Xbox 360.
Well, that's what you get for stealing C.
I'll go with the second clue.
Okay, despite not being the original creators of the series, Ensemble Studios expanded Bungie's original setting, adding many more things to accommodate the needs of the variety of units.
I'll go for a third clue.
Okay. While normally the series appeared as an FPS with more warlike perspective, this game offered a new side in the RTS the Halo series had yet to be seen.
This is Halo Wars.
That is correct. Halo Wars for 1 point.
Without Halo, I would not have gotten that because I don't do Xbox.
That is why it is the third clue, is mentioning Halo, because it kind of gives it away that RTS Halo, like
RTS Bungie gave it away.
I mean, I was trying. I gave him clues. He just didn't know.
Again, I don't do Xbox.
Again,
I've not played a Halo game.
All right, so we have game A or B, Sasha.
Well, I'll take A, I guess.
All righty. So game A, 2009. This game, instead of being intense or challenging, was designed to be intriguing and inspiring joy.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound like anything I'd play.
Get this shit out of here.
Yeah, definitely not.
I want to be miserable.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'll take the second clue.
Okay.
Darkness.
Fills my heart with pain.
No parents.
The second clue. Not many indie games are made for a specific console, but that game company designed it, which is the name of the company, designed it with the PS3 in mind.
Well, now, see, we know I'm definitely not going to get this. I'll take the third clue.
Okay. Drifting in a dream, the player controls nothing but the wind, causing life to bloom along the way.
I don't know. Journey.
It's close. I think it's the same company, but it is not Journey. Ace?
Ace, we
Is
can't
it
hear your
those
face.
weird indies? Is this one Bloom?
No, Bloom is not the name.
There's some like flowery grass game.
Well,
I'm trying to think of the name.
I'm going to take Bloom as your guess. Right?
I mean, yeah, I thought it.
Okay. It is Flower.
Oh,
That's
man.
what it was.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
I just couldn't remember what it was.
Moving right on to 2013. We are back to Sasha picking first.
I would like C, please.
Okay. Game C, 2013. This lone developer, previously of the working with Naughty Dog, especially during the Uncharted series, struck out on his own to create an award-winning game.
See, it sounds like another PlayStation game. Oh, let's get another clue here.
Okay, second clue. Developed by Lucas Pope, no relation, this indie game quickly became a hit with its political message. And yes, I did write in no relation.
Another indie game for PlayStation.
Considering I do have an uncle Lucas Pope, so it is not him.
I will I'll take the third clue.
Okay. Taking the role of an immigration officer during a heated conflict, you must approve or deny access into your country and the consequences that come with it.
Oh, I feel like I know what this is. Isn't it called Show Me the Papers? Show Me Your Papers?
It's very close.
I mean, that's my guess, so
Show Me the Papers isn't exactly right. I'm sorry.
it's all right.
Ace?
First, please.
Papers, Please, for 1 point.
I'm like, man, I could like see a Steam thumbnail in my mind's eye of that game.
Yeah.
I got it on a discount off of a good old game, but I've yet to play it.
All right, Ace. Game A or B?
A.
All right. 2013, Game A. The protagonist, modeled after the hero of District 9, ventured around the 7 wonders of the post-apocalyptic New York. I'm guessing clue 2. Based on the face.
Is this Fallout 4?
That is not correct.
Oh. Okay.
'Cause isn't Fallout...
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is in Massachusetts, I think.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it didn't feel like a very notable area for Fallout 4 in my brain. Not that Massachusetts isn't notable, but it's DC.
No,
isn't
it's
it?
well, Fallout 3 is DC.
Okay.
Fallout 4 is Boston.
Boston. There you go. That is notable. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I made the face like, what?
No, you said Massachusetts, and I didn't think Boston. Yeah, you're right. No. So do you have a steal, Sasha?
I can I get more clues?
Yes, you can.
Not with that clue.
Okay, so clue number 2. This third entry in the series was, like its predecessors, the benchmark for high-end graphics and PCs. Sometimes considered the ultimate test to run it on the highest settings.
Third entry in the series, 2013. and we know it's not Fallout. Oh, post-apocalyptic New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need the third clue.
Okay. The gaming engine is not only named after the company, but the series itself, and was the namesake and flagship of this popular and powerful game engine.
Unreal.
Right? Like oh man, that does not make it easier.
I didn't want to say the name of the engine because then you just put the name and then put a number after it, essentially.
Yeah. I don't know. Crisis 3.
That is correct. Crisis 3.
Oh
'cause
man, I Hail Married that.
That is the Crytek engine.
Whew. I can't believe I got that because I've never played Crisis 1, 2, or 3.
Same.
I have never played
And
a
I was-
Crisis or a Far Cry game.
Remembering like the hour or two I played of Fallout 4, yeah, I can remember the whole like
Okay.
Boston theme with like the Patriots and whatever.
This is anyone's game because we are down to the last year. Morg is at not Morg. Sorry, we saw Morg in chat. Ace is at 2. Sasha's at 4. So it's one
Yeah,
question.
it's
apart.
anyone's game.
It is. It is anyone's game. I do terrible with the the more recent years. I've been
Okay.
too busy.
It's fair. So 2018. I believe since we started with Ace, Sasha, you're doing the first pick, or are we back to Ace?
Wait, no, it is Ace. I stole his. Wait, yeah, I stole his, so he gets to go first.
Okay. A, B, or C, Ace?
I'll go with C.
Wow. All right, 2018. Initially releasing as an early access game before its full release in 2018, it became popular as streamers and YouTube personalities often could be found playing it, such as Markiplier or Jacksepticeye.
Glad you got this one, man.
I'll take a second clue.
But it looks like he has an idea. He's got that. He's got that.
No, it's I can't trust myself.
Okay.
There's too many.
Surviving on an alien world isn't a new concept. However, surviving in an entirely water-submerged planet is a different game.
Subnautica.
That is correct. Subnautica for 2 points.
Man, now I gotta get this.
I just finished the game for the first time Like-
yeah,
2 weeks ago.
that was probably the perfect one. So you're tied up. So, Sasha, you can take the lead. Game A.
See,
or
because you said
B.
Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and my brain was immediately going
They
to
were big on
Among
this
Us
game.
because that's what. Well, I immediately went to Among Us because I was like, that's what most recently I've seen them do. But I'm like, no, that came out like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
a year or two ago. So no, don't trust it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with B.
B. Alrighty.
Probably about to be my bane. We'll see.
Okay. 2018. Despite already being released in Japan nearly a year earlier on a different system, this game astonished fans, releasing worldwide later this in the same year after the next game in the series released worldwide as well.
Great. So it was a Nintendo game. I shouldn't have picked B. Man, I'll take the second clue.
Ace would have had this if he picked this one. Ace would have nailed this
Well-
one on the head. I can tell. Okay. Yeah, but it's fair. Yeah. So, because in this clue, you're going to get initially this Nintendo exclusive made by Capcom, released on the 3DS, but later came out as a Switch game after many fans requesting for it specifically to be on Switch.
I feel like the way you're frothing at the mouth that it's Monster Hunter World.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Okay. It is not Monster Hunter World.
Well, that's just what
Ace,
it is, I guess.
would you like to steal, or would
It
you
is
like?
Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
It is. Yes.
Well, there's just no way I would have gotten that.
Because
Okay.
World was just for Xbox and PlayStation and PC. Generations and 2 of the previous games in the series were on 3DS.
Right.
And then
So
when the Switch came out, people like me started frothing at the mouth,
yeah,
being like, "Give it."
yeah. This one was. There's no way I could have written any of these questions for Sasha to get it. Like, it was just like,
Oh, well, no. Maybe if it was multiple choice and there were no other Monster Hunter, like,
releases that year.
Options.
Yeah. No, that's true, because this is the one time that we got 2 Monster Hunters in one year, and it is crazy because Generations Ultimate was the previous game, and we didn't get it in the States until the next game came out. So like people were like,
Mhm.
"Oh," even me, I was very salty about it because I was like, I thought we were past this whole we don't release games in the States thing, and here we are not getting a game in the States, and they're just skipping over it for World, and yeah, it made World very controversial at the time, and they eventually did, but they did it in August after releasing World in January. Which
Mhm.
I know it was in January because I got fired a week before that game came out, so I got some time with that game. But
well, some things are meant to be.
yeah, so we are down to 6 points for Ace, 4 points for Sasha. We are now down to the Jeopardy round.
All right.
I know you guys aren't
Get
going to
my-
like this because the year I rolled is 1997. We rolled the first year on this one.
Man.
So
Video
Nin-
game history.
1997 is our initial clue. And here is the clue for you guys to do the thing. And for the audience knows, I'm going to monologue for a little bit while they think of their answer. They're going to give me a thumbs up, which is only a visual cue because we have cameras, when they are ready, and have their answer written down and how many points they're going to bet, just like on Jeopardy. Ace is available to bet all. You're allowed to bet all your points, but Ace, you have 6 points so you can bet. Sasha, you have 4 points that you can bet, and whatever value you wish to. So, are we ready for the question?
No, but go ahead.
All right. This beloved Konami game, despite being part of an established series, sold very poorly to begin with. However, with word of mouth and time, it proved to be a sleeper hit and a classic in the Castlevania series. To this day, many put this game on the list of best video games of all time. Wow. Okay. I didn't have to monologue for much on that one. Sasha is ready. So whenever Ace can write down his and his bet, we'll see how this goes. I did talk. So while Ace is thinking, what the crap is that? Is that a lightning bug in my room? That's weird. Anyways, the Jurassic World was amazing. I think people should go see it. Now I am a high bias on this. I mean, you guys saw my Monster Hunter / Jurassic Park shirt I had on yesterday to go see it. But great acting. There's some like legit cinematic moments in this game. Movie. Where I was like, that's a good camera shot. Like I don't normally notice this kind of stuff. But what's up, Ace?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, I can. All right. So this beloved Konami game, despite being part of an established series, sold very poorly to begin with. However, with word of mouth and time, it proved to be a sleeper hit and a classic game of the Castlevania series. To this day, many put this game on their list of best video games of all time.
back to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so Jurassic Park.
I
they're-
haven't
Go ahead.
heard anything bad yet. People on my Facebook friends list that have watched it, the only complaint I've heard is that they had to take bathroom breaks.
It's long. It's about. I almost want to say it felt like 3 hours, and I didn't really time it because our movie started at 8:15, but we stood out in the parking lot talking for quite a while because I didn't get home till 1 last night.
Wow.
Or maybe I didn't get to bed till 1. Like I basically came home, wrote the last year of questions, this question we're doing now, and then went to bed. All right, Ace is ready. So hold up your answers, and we'll see how we did. All right, you guys both got it right. However, both of you voted all of your points, so Ace wins at 12, Sasha at 8.
Yay!
See? It was your night.
Finally.
Congrats.
I haven't played the game before, but I've seen it on like a bunch of like
Symphony,
best games.
to my knowledge, Symphony of the Night
Metroidvanias.
is held as one of the best Castlevania games, and I'm sure our resident Castlevania fan Mossy could attest to that. I think he even talked about it earlier this week.
My
So-
husband really likes that game. That's why I knew it so quickly.
Gotcha. I've never played it. I played a Castlevania-like game, Bloodstained, and I didn't like it at all. Like, I was just like, I like Metroid. I don't like Castlevania. I think I'm more on the Metroid fan because like Castlevania feel like the monsters respawned way too often, and they were just so much harder to kill than
Yeah, I feel like
Metroid.
every time you change screens, you come back, they're respawned.
Right, which is the same in Metroid, but Metroid you can just eventually just blast through them and they're not a problem. But like Castlevania, it always felt like work. It always felt like work. So yeah, so Ace, congrats on your first win. You hold the
Yay!
title. We will see.
I'm now limping through the desert.
We will Sasha, so next week we're going to be doing we're going to be doing our wild card, which we don't know yet. We're not ending the episode yet, but next week we'll be doing the wild card episode. And then you'll be off, Sasha. We'll do Monster Hunter. And then the next week, which is immediately post Sunbreak launch, we'll definitely have Sunbreak stuff to talk about, but that is quiz show number 8. So we're not far off from the next quiz show because we had to flop around schedules this month. So, alrighty. So, let's see if you guys can beat the. There's only a few where we didn't hear the answers to, but we'll save that for after the PVE mode. So,
I'm gonna run to the bathroom quick.
sure, I'll take a drink while you're waiting. Because there's a lot of Jurassic Park talk. I still want to call it Jurassic Park instead of World. They did have a Therizinosaurus, which is really cool.
I don't know what that is. Let's see.
Uh,
Therizinosaurus?
yeah, maybe I might be saying it
Okay.
wrong.
I'm sure Google will get me there.
Yeah, it's a giant plant eater. They used to think it was a meat eater because of its design.
Wikipedia is only showing me bones.
Yeah. It's like the biggest claws of any animal.
Oh, that's an interesting looking ostrich dinosaur thing.
Yeah. It's a pretty I don't think it's as obscure as it used to be, but in some ways it used to be a pretty obscure dinosaur. It was a plant eater that had these giant claws, and it's one of the, like, you know how like the T-Rex was sort of like the boss dinosaur of Jurassic Park 1 and 2. And then they kind of introduced the Spinosaurus in 3. And then they had like the big major threat. Like this one has like 4 major threats, and it's one of them. So, well, I would say the Raptors have always been a major threat too. So maybe 2 to 3 in the other ones, but this one had like a lot. There was like different kinds of raptors. There was the Therizinosaurus. We had a T-Rex. We had a Giganotosaurus. We had like all sorts of stuff.
I feel like I revealed to you already that I have not seen any of the others. I've only seen Jurassic Park.
1? I know.
Yeah.
I don't think you have.
Oh yeah, the way your eyes just bugged out of your head. I guess I haven't told you that. Yeah, so I've only seen Jurassic Park 1.
Okay. Wow.
I feel like I seen The Lost World, but I was so little, and I don't really remember it.
Jurassic Park.
I remember the silver VHS case though,
Okay.
with the 2 claws in it, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, that makes sense. So
I remember it.
I own all in 4K Ultra HD because I'm a nerd. But
that doesn't surprise me.
well, there was a bundle at Walmart. It was like $50 for the 5 films. I was like, that's $10 a piece. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I've caught a couple of bundles like that, but I think the last bundle I bought like that was a Clint Eastwood movie bundle.
Okay.
It's all the Dirty Harry movies.
Nice. Yeah, so 2 is pretty good. But 2 only has like from the original cast Jeff Goldblum. Like it's just mostly focused on him and his daughter. In the movie daughter. And they get trapped on. Well, they don't get trapped. They're trying to stop poachers on a second island. I don't remember that. It's like Isla Nublar and Isla something is the name of the island.
Isla Sorna.
Sorna, yeah. So this one.
I'm back, by the way, everyone.
Hey, yeah. So there's that one is focused kind of like on a pair of T-Rex parents, sort of deal,
Mm-hmm.
and they kidnap a baby T-Rex, and that's why I end up in San Francisco because they get on a boat and they're trying to take a Jurassic Park in San Francisco, and it doesn't go well. Jurassic Park 3 is the one with the Spinosaurus where they're on another island, what was supposed to be like where they breed all the dinosaurs and they transport them over to the park. So they had this one is where they actually had the first pterodactyls that you had to deal with because there was like a flight cage they had to deal with. The Spinosaurus and a T-Rex in that movie, with the Spinosaurus being the bigger threat. This is when I thought didn't realize Spinosaurus was mostly aquatic in these days. Like, so it's actually the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus is fairly inaccurate. Like most things in Jurassic Park aren't super accurate, but this is probably the furthest one outside of the Dilophosaurus, the one that does the fins, the frill that flops up and it spits the acid. Yeah, Dilophosaurus doesn't have frills to anyone's knowledge. Also 10 foot tall, not 2 foot tall. It's like the opposite of the Velociraptor problem, where it's like twice the size it should be.
Yeah, and the Spinosaurus also like breaks the T-Rex's neck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then
of course, World is
they
done a new park, and then Fallen Kingdom is
and then
they
they have
evacuate the park.
And then they have like the 3D printed raptor nasal reservoir that Alan uses at the end to.
Yeah, and I will say Alan is
the
the only
raptors to leave them
returning character in 3, and then it's a whole new cast in World, and it's the same cast essentially in Fallen Kingdom. Like they didn't lose anybody in Fallen Kingdom.
Although I liked a lot of Jurassic Park 3, but the dream sequence on the plane where he wakes up and everyone's gone, and then he turns next to him and the raptor is right there, and he goes, Alan.
Yeah, it's just a raptor
like,
talking to
Alan.
It's pretty good.
I'm just like, okay, this movie just lost a star.
Yeah. So, are we ready for the PvE mode? See if you guys can outdo your scores working together.
Yeah, let's do this.
So, Game B in 1997 was not chose. This is the first clue. This unique fighting game developed by the company Lightweight reviewed fairly well, but and ranks in the top game of all time lists over the years. It's a fighting game.
Fighting game?
Yeah.
1997 fighting. Mortal Kombat.
No, I think it was 94. But
yeah, I don't know.
Tekken?
You guys are guessing on the first clue. Okay.
Why not?
I mean, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter are the only fighting games that I really know.
Neither of those are correct.
All right. Give us a second clue.
All right. Second clue. Characters aren't the only selection required when going into this head-to-head 3D fighting game, but also the choice between 8 weapons, katana, broadsword, and sledgehammer among them.
Yeah, like I said, I listed off the 3 that I know.
A fighting game with weapons?
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like it's ringing a bell to me right now, but all right, I'll take the third clue as well because I don't know.
Alrighty. Health bars aren't present, but instead the combat is considered nearly one-hit kills and body damage if a character suffers a minor hit, often crippling a limb and hindering their ability to move and or fight.
Oh, I don't know. Ow. I have no idea.
All right. Ace? Any?
No.
All right. So it's 0 points for this one, guys. Bushido Blade.
No.
That sure is a thing. That's a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game.
It happened.
Yep.
Okay.
In 1997.
Yep. This is one I knew pretty well. My uncle and dad and I used to play it quite a bit. But it did appear it was a very highly reviewed game at the time, and is one of the bigger games that people ask for a remake that never happens because basically the company that owned it doesn't exist anymore, I believe. So happens with a couple fighting games over the years. So our 2004 missed game was game A, I believe. Yeah, game A. So clue number 1, this RPG in a fantasy world had many ways to interact with the world, but may be remembered for how a character's morality physically manifested.
(2004) Fable.
Yeah, that's correct. Fable.
Would not have gotten that.
Also, headed by Peter Molyneux. So we had 2 Peter Molyneux games.
See, I knew Peter Molyneux, just not for Dungeon Man.
Yep. Dungeon Keeper.
Dungeon
yes.
B&B.
Dungeon Keeper's a good game, guys. It's really good. You get to tell little goblins to build. You basically build like you've given a room and you dig out the walls and make a dungeon. So, and you got to make rooms and stuff for like bedding and stuff like that. So 2009, game B was not selected. So first clue, while the series already had several entries, it took until this expansion for the sales to make an impact.
Expansion, huh?
That makes me think it's one of those GTAs.
Anything?
I have two obvious choices that I want to go with, but
I
I'm
know.
not sure on it.
Same.
So I think second clue.
Okay. The first
Sasha?
commercials.
Second clue. Are
Yeah.
we in agreement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first commercials in America for the series highlighted local multiplayer via infrared on the PSP. It took until the sixth main series game for an outside Japan commercial.
Well, now I have no idea now. PSP.
Yep.
Well, come on, Ace. Help us with that.
Now it's kind of thrown me off.
Now you're. I thought you were Mr. Vita, man. You should know all the PSP stuff, right?
I only just got my Vita like 2 years ago,
Sure.
and I
Right.
haven't done much on it except for some of the Arkham Blackgate, and then
Now,
a new playthrough of Freedom Unite.
I will
And
say.
I don't think the game is Freedom Unite.
Okay. So any guesses? Or do we go to
No.
clue 3?
Clue 3, I think.
I think so.
All right. This hunting game featured over 60 targets, while the next in the series would considerably decrease the number to 18.
Oh god, it is fucking Freedom Unite, isn't it? God damn it.
Yep. Freedom Unite for one.
Okay.
See, what
I don't even know
was
what
the
that
second
is.
question again? Because the
It's
second
Monster
question
Hunter Freedom Unite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The second question completely threw me off.
The first commercials in America for the series highlighted local multiplayer via infrared on the PSP. It took until the sixth main series game, which is Freedom Unite, for an outside Japan commercial.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing commercials for Monster Hunter until
I did.
3 Ultimate or 3.
I
Try.
saw there's commercials, a bunch of kids hanging around, and it's basically spliced in with cutscenes from the opening of Freedom Unite where they trap the Rathian. It did air in the United States. I saw them.
Sorry, Sasha. Second guessing myself cost us 3 points.
I mean, I contributed nothing to that. So
This was the Monster Hunter one because we didn't even touch on the 2004, which is original Monster Hunter. But it didn't. It didn't get picked. It was a possibility, but it didn't get picked. Okay, so 2013 game B was not chosen. So, first question: originally made by fans as a mod, Valve bought the rights to make it their own in an unprecedented move.
2013.
Mm-hmm.
Valve.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Gary's mod?
No.
Shit.
Valve. I'll take the next clue.
Okay. MOBAs became the new hot game type with this game quickly gaining popularity and a bevy of unique heroes. MOBAs being massive online battle arenas.
Well, I'm not gonna know this.
Okay.
Third clue.
Ace, third clue.
What the Not Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. I guess third clue.
All right. Well, its competitor, League of Legends, remains to be popular. That didn't stop this game from making its own mark as an esport even to this day. I'll tell you this, Pan would have got this off the bat. Pan would have known this right away. Because she's so familiar with the Warcraft series. That's a free clue.
No guesses
Pan's
from me.
Pan's yelling at us right now. I don't know.
No guess?
I have no guess.
Ace?
I said I have no guess.
Okay. We'll put a 0 on that one. It is Dota 2, Defense of the Ancients. It was originally a Warcraft 3 mod that Valve bought and turned into their own IP, and then made Defense of the Ancients 2, and have never made Defense of the Ancients 3 in proper Valve fashion.
Thank you for sharing what Dota stands for, because I had no idea.
Yeah. No, it's the big competitor to League of Legends in the same type of game.
I couldn't pick them out in a lineup, either of them.
I played both. They're both huge. They're the biggest esport games, period.
I've heard of both of those games, but
yeah,
just not ever given them a chance.
Okay, so 2018, our last year, you guys are now tied on your together points with Sasha at 4.
Now we're gonna find out if I would have won this game if I picked the other.
Okay. So 2018 first clue. Hello Games, despite making their first indie project, came with serious backing in award shows and previews to many eyes for this game.
I'm gonna swing for the fences for this since it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Celeste.
No. Ace?
I'll take a second clue.
Okay. While procedural generation isn't a new concept, this game aimed to make infinite possibilities in the space exploration / survival game.
No Man's Sky?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It is. No Man's Sky for 2. Alrighty. So you guys did beat your scores, I believe. No, we're tied, we're tied with Ace at 6. So you guys tied Ace's score.
Yay.
Alrighty. So we don't have a lot of questions to go over.
Yeah, because we didn't study.
Yeah, essentially, we only have another question on Crash, Subnautica, and Generations Ultimate, and 2 questions on Fable. So Crash, the second clue was where we got it, but the last clue was initially the villain of the previous game asks for the hero's help, but it takes the hacking skills of the hero's sister to set the Bandicoot straight. So Crash Bandicoot 2. Fable, you guys didn't hear either of the second or third clue. Developer Lionhead had its success in their hands, but also notedly left out many promised features for Fable.
Yeah, which is what they did with every subsequent Fable release as well.
Yeah.
Not that I had complaint. I liked all 3 Fable games.
Yeah. Well, they way overpromised every time.
Oh yeah. for sure.
While it had a successful run, a Microsoft exclusive, as a Microsoft exclusive, to date it only had 3 titles, with the cancellation of the 4th one spelling the doom of Lionhead Studios, with Microsoft shutting them down.
That was disappointing. I was disappointed over that.
Yeah.
And whenever I hear Peter Molyneux's name, I think about
him and
Fable 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Night, sweet
Because,
prince.
well, and I feel like I also remember when Xbox One first came out, they had that Microsoft Studios thing you could download, and Peter Molyneux was, I think, involved in at least the marketing bit of that, and it was another example of a whole lot of overpromising, like this idea that you could just like make whatever world you wanted, and it was supposed to be like a glossier Minecraft, you know, and it died,
and then
almost immediately.
Minecraft. Yeah. So we just have the last clue on Generations Ultimate and Subnautica left. So the last clue for Generations Ultimate was, to date, this hunting series has featured hundreds of monsters. However, no other game has featured as many before or since, at a staggering over 90 creatures to hunt. So that was Generations Ultimate. And then the last one for Subnautica is managing food, fresh water, and air supply as you salvage the wreckage of your ship is challenging enough. However, the game has some nasty and hideously large creatures in store for those brave enough to venture into the depths of the waters.
Mm-hmm. And the deeper you go, the worse it gets.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So, you guys want to hear all of the possible options that I picked?
Sure.
So for 1997, and I'm just going to list these in order, and of course you're going to hear the ones that got picked. 1997, and it's just like, let's do the roll the D10, so it's 1 through 10. Oddworld: Abe's Odyssey, Final Fantasy VII, Mortal Kombat 4, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Grand Theft Auto, which is the first one, Crash 2, Mega Man Legends, Bushido Blade, Yoshi's Story, and Dungeon Keeper. By the way, seriously, guys,
Dungeon Man.
It's like $5 on GOG. It's so fun.
Dungeon Man.
I like 2 better though. All right, so 2004. Here are the 10 options that I chose, and I certainly left out games because holy cow. So number 1, Halo 2, WoW, Metroid Prime 2, Fable, Metal Gear Solid 3, Far Cry, Star Wars Battlefront, the original one, by the way, Monster Hunter, Doom 3, and Lord of the Rings: The Third Age.
Woof.
2009. This was a weird year to take because this is like it kind of feels like the opposite of 2004. Like it kind of felt like this. I was really reaching with some games, but some of them were pretty notable, anyways. So 2009, Deadly Creatures, Flower, Halo Wars, Killzone 2, Resident Evil 5, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Fossil Fighters, Katamari Forever, Halo 3 ODST, and Uncharted 2.
I would just like to point out a couple of other 2009s that you would not have been reaching for. Modern Warfare 2, Dragon Age Origins, Borderlands, Left 4 Dead 2, Bayonetta, Wolfenstein, DJ Hero, Uncharted 2. There were a lot of really big games.
I had Uncharted 2 in there. I was just looking through. Now, again, some of this is bias, right? Deadly Creatures is something
sure.
Deadly Creatures is something I knew pretty well because it's a really weird Wii game where you play as a tarantula and a scorpion. And you're basically fighting yourself throughout the whole game. You're fighting you're the tarantula fighting the scorpion, and then you have an adventure as the tarantula, and it switches off to the scorpion, and it has like Samuel L. Jackson.
Looks like a bargain bin game, but
it's so good though. It is so good.
I want a re-release or like a remaster of it eventually.
And the
expand
other one,
and have more more
other
insects.
one that's kind of weird is Fossil Fighters, which is a Pokemon clone where you knock away fossils to get the dinosaurs on your team. You actually go digging for fossils. It was a 3DS game. But yeah, no, there are some ones I missed, like Bayonetta and that kind of stuff. I just didn't see them, I guess. Because I go by release date, and sometimes I hit a lot before I hit release date, like later release
That
dates.
happened to me a couple of like matches ago, where I think my question was one of the Grand Theft Auto games, and it just was like not obvious to me because I had this massive list of games that came out that year, and Grand Theft Auto was not on that list.
Mm.
So you were like, Ace is like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?"
So 2013, DMC Devil May Cry. This is the remake that everyone hated. Fire Emblem Awakening, which is like a $300 GameCube game now. Like, it's just insane. I think that's the one. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's Radiant Dawn. I don't know. All the Fire Emblem games are crazy expensive. Aliens, the Colonial Marines, whatever you want to call
it. Famously horrible.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Crysis 3, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. So we hit a lot of Monster Hunter's years. This didn't get picked. Resident Evil 6.
I would have swept.
Terraria. Well, you did win. The Last of Us.
I mean, yeah.
Dota 2 and Papers, Please. And in 2018 was Subnautica, Celeste, which is something you guessed, Civilization 6, Metal Gear Survive, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Sea of Thieves, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Jurassic World Evolution, Octopath Traveler, and No Man's Sky.
Sea of Thieves almost was one of the games that almost made me get an Xbox, and then it turned out to not be what I thought it was going to be per the marketing. I was like,
it's free on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I have now started keeping a running log of games I've already done in the years, which is why I discovered we never did 2009 and 2004. So I have a retired list of 97, which is Diddy Kong Racing, Age of Empires, GoldenEye, 007, Star Fox 64, and Turok. The retired list for 2013, Dead Space 3, Pikmin 3, and Killer Instinct. And the retired list for 2018 is Monster Hunter World, Detroit Become Human, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've already done those games. So I'm keeping a new track of a new thing where when I'm writing the questions, I will go back and look, say, what games did I do in what years? And I write underneath the selections of retired list. So I can just don't pick the same game. So we'll get there eventually, especially 2009 with some other ones. But I'm only retiring the ones we actually had questions on, so they could come back. So yeah, that was this one.
That was this one.
Yep. I think it's the lowest, one of the lower scoring ones we've had. It was a bit difficult. Like Ace got away with some ones that were really good for him, but like there was a lot of ones that you guys just didn't know. Like I don't think you guys would have got anything from Oddworld either. Like if Oddworld came up.
It depends on the clues because my familiarity with Oddworld is from just like reading gaming magazines and stuff. So I'm not totally in the blind about it, but I just never played those games.
Right. And 98 would have Exodus as well. I'm trying to think. Oddworld's an interesting series because it's very much about racism and slavery directly. And they just model it as Mudokons, and you just play as one of the slaves. It's like literally there's a thing in the second one that is about the Underground Railroad, and you save 300 slaves. Like the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman was known for saving 300 slaves, and that is the goal of the second game. Like it's pretty on the nose when you look at it. It's a very interesting series that's like set in a fantasy world that tackles some serious stuff. Like And it's like a lot of anti-big corporation stuff too, because it's the corporations that are keeping slaves and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
You guys should, if you have not yet, play Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero.
I really don't like survival games so much that I will not play Ark. And that's dinosaurs.
I mean, Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero also have creative mode. So if you don't want to have to manage water, food, and oxygen, you can do that too.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's like playing Minecraft in creative mode, and then it just gets boring. Like,
I mean, you can still discover everything within the game and discover all the secrets and stuff like that.
Sure, I guess, yeah.
And Below Zero also includes some interesting real world biology in it too. They include the icicle fingers of death, or the brinicles, which form in salt water in like super cold conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And they will like freeze down to the seafloor and start to freeze everything on the seafloor too.
Interesting.
And they actually harm you in the game too if you get too close to them.
So I had talked about on the show me playing Diablo Immortal. I'm no longer playing.
So enthusiastic about it.
I was. I am no longer playing Diablo Immortal. And it is, I didn't hit a wall per se, but I got tired of the mobile stuff. Like I think I said that was there last time, but it was like, here's your daily login reward. Hey, you did this thing. Here's a discount on a bundle. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Then there's an actual cap. I didn't hit it, but there's an actual cap for upgrading gems where you have to use this currency that is only available through what, as Chrono said, in Discord, through the purchase of it and or loot boxes. So, of purchasable loot boxes. So, just before the show, I was lamenting the fact that there's some news that Diablo 4 may be incorporating Diablo Immortal's pay model and that kind of stuff. And I'm very sad about this because being a huge Diablo fan, I don't feel like I'm missing anything right now not playing Diablo Immortal. The story doesn't feel that impactful. They're basically saying, because they can't make it that impactful. If you're setting it between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, like, you already know how. Yeah, it's already happened. You already know what goes on. You'll get details. Now, for instance, they did something interesting where in Diablo 3, they backed off from the idea of you playing, if you play the Barbarian, you are the Diablo 2 Barbarian. That was originally a thing, but it wasn't in release. And Immortal, you are. And Deckard Cain recognizes you, and other people recognize you if you play the Barbarian, which I did. And they will intelligently have dialogue about you already doing some stuff. It's very weird to have the Diablo 3 classes in a Diablo 2-ish setting as well. Not that it's bad. I mean, all the classes are from in-game stuff, but like, I don't know. It's just witch doctors were not a thing until Diablo 3, and then here we are. I don't think they actually have the witch doctor in Diablo Immortal, but yeah, the wizards were like banned. You couldn't be a wizard in the world because a wizard meant you were dealing with dark arts that you weren't allowed to deal with. And if you were a wizard, you were hunted by another class in the game called assassins. They were built to kill wizards.
Yeah, just like in Dragon Age.
Right.
But Templars and mages.
Well, see, there's the difference is in Diablo, like, it isn't Dragon Age any magic is sort of outlawed?
Or any magic that is outside of the circle. So, like, basically they put them in the Mage's Tower, and they are indentured slaves there. And they are allowed to leave only on special trips. And then anybody who escapes the circle or avoids ever joining the circle in the first place is considered an apostate mage. and they are hunted by the Templars.
Gotcha. So this is a little different because it's only just a school of magic that's outlawed. Like it's only a single type. But
Oh, there's a school of magic that's outlawed as well, blood magic.
oh, this is just arcane. Just like generic only elemental magic's allowed in Diablo. So once you're an arcane caster, which is they make it out to be more powerful than it ends up being in execution. But I mean, they have some interesting ideas like creating a black hole, but like a tiny black hole, but which would just destroy the planet, but you know, that you're on. But
it sounds like Vanya in Umbrella Academy.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't watch it. I saw clips. My brother watched it a lot.
Pretty good. I really like it.
I do like the
Speaking
meme
of
of the
super
two people passing by in the cars when they're supposed to be back in time or something. I think I had you
Five
explain
and
that.
Vanya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either you or Ace
Have you guys
explain that to
seen
me.
any of the boys?
Not yet. That's honestly gonna be probably one of my next ones. I'm very intrigued with.
Is this the one with the
latest
goggle
season,
glasses
yes.
guy? The guy has like the super thick glasses.
I don't know. I just know Jensen Ackles is in it, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, he's in this season. In the last episode, they got him out of the Russian base, and you get to see his butt for a brief minute.
Mm.
Okay.
So saying skip ahead, just
Why would
I
I
mean,
want to see a guy?
I'd say watch the first 2 seasons as well.
yeah. I've been meaning to give that show a shot. I read probably the first 2 or 3 volumes of the Boys comics, so I get the gist of it.
Also, I'm waiting for excitedly anticipating season 2 of Invincible, because Invincible was also another very good superhero show that was on Amazon Prime, but that one's animated.
I have been wanting to see that. I've been asking Brian if I can, because I don't have Amazon, so he wants me to watch that and something else.
Prepare yourself.
So
Invincible.
Just prepare yourself.
Yeah, back to Diablo Immortal. I could see the predatory stuff getting pretty heavy once I started getting close to the end game. So I was like, I'm out. I'm done. And I went back to playing Blood Bowl 2. That's what I've been playing.
Nice.
And I've talked about Blood Bowl 2 a lot to listeners. Sasha, are you familiar with that one?
I know what it is, but I've not played it.
It's amazing. I am playing a dwarf team right now. And the only thing that has been able to stand up against like my physical, just like brute beating up everyone else on the other team has been another dwarf team that had a giant spiked steamroller. Like, they just immediately, turn 1, just first action of the game, they used their steamroller and injured one of my troll slayers, which is a type of dwarf unit, and made him miss the next game. Like immediately, like a next game injury. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then like he does it again to the other troll slayer. I lost both of my troll slayers, which are like your strongest units as far as like strength goes. So I was just like, they're both like, he only had like a no injury. Like it was just like but an injury is a serious deal because you can have stats reduced, which basically kills the character because they become almost useless. They're no longer worth what you bought them for, right? Because you're playing the role of a football manager, so you're managing players. Like you control them, but like you have to worry about if they perform well or not. And so like I didn't get anything like that, thankfully. But you can actually have your players die too. And there's like, I killed one of his players out of I was just like, no. So we were just like, it was an all out brawl and I finally won that match. But here's the thing, that steamroller I talked about is an illegal unit. So what happens is until someone's between kickoffs is when the ref notices illegal units. But if you have a bribe, you can ignore an illegal unit, like a ref calling. We had a special event at the beginning of the game that gave him an extra bribe. So I had to deal with this steamroller for most of the game, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. So I ended up surrounding it with 7 dwarves and them just punching it to death until it left the field.
That just makes me think of like that famous video of Marshawn Lynch, I think in his college days in football, where he's just like riding around on the golf cart on the field, but instead just imagining him like just plowing into a player on the other team.
It's kind of like that. The animation is pretty rough. You see from the player's perspective this giant spiked steamroller just like right over you. And then it's just like injury. And I was like, no, don't do that. That's a good one. That's one of my good units. Don't do that. Because like I'd have to replace him with a normal, just a long beard, which is just your standard lineman. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do. But I ended up winning that game 2-0 because he never tried to score very well. So, and I will say this is against AI. I don't play against people because I'm not confident in myself enough to do that. But it's not easy mode AI. It's normal.
This just has me thinking of like real world equivalents. Just like on the first 2 snaps, the opposing team's defense just kicks 2 of your players in the ankles and they're out.
This is essentially how the game goes. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I faced a vampire team, and one of them has this thing called Slash, and he's just like, he tries to assassinate your team member, just straight up like tries to kill them, and it has a low success rate. And if there's a certain, like, you have to make rolls. So you roll 2d6, and if you break a certain number, you injure them so much, and it has a higher chance on that kind of stuff. But he only managed to stun a couple of my players. He never managed to kill them. But it was just like, we got to get him out quick. So I focused on knocking him out, and I eventually KO'd him. So he was out for a little while.
Although I will say in the NFL there are some dirty players. I don't know, back in like,
I don't watch, but yeah,
2015, 2016, I think it was Ndamukong Suh on the Lions that caught a lot of attention because I think in one game he stepped on Aaron Rodgers' ankles, or on one of his ankles. Dude, after like a sack or a tackle, and then like another one
big. He's so big.
He is, and I mean by the footage, some of the things that he did definitely looked dirty.
Oh yeah.
They didn't look like accidents.
Well, it's not like it really assisted the Lions very much now, did it?
No.
No.
Plus, I'm pretty sure on most of them he got called for it too.
Yeah, that's why you don't try to cheat.
I think there was.
It's wrong.
I think there was another one where he like grabbed someone's helmet or like kicked. Oh no, he kicked someone's helmet. That's what it was. I forget who it was, and if it was the Packers, but he kicked someone's helmet at one point, I'm pretty sure. And it's just like, dude,
you're not going to win anyway, bro. So,
if anything, you're hurting your own team, especially if you get caught.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I've been playing that. And then I also slew the Spire finally. I've been playing Slay the Spire off and on for like 3 years. And I finally not only completed a run, but actually killed the final boss in the run. Because they consider a run complete even if you don't kill the final boss, because it's just so hard. But I did it. And I did it yesterday kind of on accident. I continued to run because I was trying to boot up Strikers. And, the Mario Strikers soccer game. I haven't played a lot of it. But I was in the middle of a run. I was like, I don't want to abandon this run to start up a game. So I'll finish the run. And that run, I beat it. I was like, oh, okay. And I had a crazy Shiv build, which is basically this 0 cost 4 damage card that you generate off of other cards. And I was just like, hey, every time I do this, I create a shiv, and shivs do this more damage, and like things that cost 0 do this more damage, and then every time you attack, I gain 4 armor, or like every 3 attacks, I gain 4 armor, and since there's 0, I can do it a bunch, and I can make a bunch. So I was just like, out damn it! Like I came across a couple like mini bosses that never touched me because I just shivved them to death constantly. So it was a fun run. But I did want to say I watched a lot of movies the past 2 weeks because of me. When I develop, I have something on the other side, and I ran out of some shows I've been watching, so I started watching movies. So like on Netflix or something. Here's a list of what I watched this week. This is just this week, okay? Both 300 movies. I'd never seen the second one. So 300 and 300 Rise of an Empire.
It's not 301.
No, it's not.
I haven't seen 300 either, so.
Karate Kid 1 and 2.
300.2.
I had never seen Karate Kid 2. I didn't know I had never seen. I thought I had. I'd only seen Karate Kid 1. Hot Fuzz, which is just amazing.
Yes, it's a good one.
The Replacements, which is a football movie with Keanu Reeves. It's amazing. Rampage, which I was all over Twitter about because I love that movie.
Is that the one with The Rock?
Yeah. Yeah. The Lost City. The Channing Tatum one where...
Okay.
Oh gosh, what is her name? Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock is this like romance novelist, and like Channing Tatum is like the model on the cover of the book all the time, and it's hilarious. Multiplicity, which is a 90s movie, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, all of that just this week.
I've been trying to find time to watch Stranger Things, but my kid,
so good.
My kid pays attention to what's on the screen, so it's way too scary for her to be watching that. So it's been hard to find time for that.
Sure.
And I think I had talked about this last time, but my latest obsession, and I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups now for it, is Our Flag Means Death. I love that show so much.
Yeah, you talked about that last week when Ace was here.
Yeah, it's like my new favorite memes are all.
I'm not sure if my fiance is on a group, but she's been watching that lately.
Oh, I love it so much.
I mean, Taika Waititi is just phenomenal.
He's so talented. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous of him. Did you know that he does illustration for books? And I'm like 90% sure that the illustrations of Blackbeard in Our Flag Means Death are done by Taika Waititi.
No, I didn't.
I did not know that, but that's cool.
No, he's so talented. Like,
I mean,
have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
That's where I first encountered him, and I loved him in that. And also Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords.
Yes.
I love Vladislav. Just
Vlad
they
the
called
Poker.
me Vlad the Poker.
Yeah.
This is my torture room. I usually used to torture when I was in a dark place.
I think I watched the movie. And I really liked that. Like, I don't think I've watched the show because it's on Hulu.
Yeah. The show, I think the show is probably the funniest thing on TV right now, in my opinion. Matt
Leave
Berry
me to do my dark bidding on the internet. Oh, what are you bidding on? The table.
So I'm like low-key really hoping that Matt Berry and Jermaine Clement make cameos in the next season of Our Flag Means Death, and I'm really hoping if they want to
Be good.
go deep with it. Matt Berry's character in What We Do in the Shadows canonically was a pirate, so let's just have him be a vampire.
There's like so many different things that Laszlo has done.
Yes.
What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, he ran away for how many episodes to just live in Kentucky or Georgia or something as a bartender.
Human bartender.
Okay, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this show. I can't. My HBO Max got canceled because my card wasn't. Because remember I told you my card got locked out. So like I couldn't pay them because I can't pay for anything online because my card is canceled because of that breach. So my cash only has hurt me for the first time so far. I wanted to watch that.
Do they have like little subscription cards or something that you could get at?
Maybe. I'd have to see when I go into town next. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been told I could load up a Visa and do that, but like that's super temporary. That's like super.
Well, I know they sell Hulu in like 3 months batches, so
yeah,
maybe.
And they have Netflix cards and everything, so
I'll check the next time I'm in I guess Walmart. It would be the only place that would really.
That would be your best bet. I feel like Walmart has
or some chain grocery stores.
Yeah, it'd be at Walmart or Kroger would be my only real chance. And I mean, I am gonna have to do some grocery shopping this week by myself because it is just me. Like, remember this crazy family vacation? It's starting tomorrow. They're leaving. It's just me and the girls for a whole week. Well, I didn't. Oh, I gotta tell you, it happened again. So in July, there's another vacation that's meant to make up for me not going on this one. So they're going to take us on a long weekend to a place that we know pretty well in Tennessee, and I like it there quite a bit. We were told it was like sometime in July, late July, right? So I was like, cool, tell me the dates and I'll tell you if that's okay. We are standing in this is yesterday actually. Standing in the game store while I'm waiting to pick up strikers, and Chauncey's getting some magic cards, and we get a group text from Mom saying it's got a screenshot. We've booked the days. Here they are, and I'm like, okay, but we talked about this. Like, send the days you were thinking about booking, and then I will confirm if those days are okay. We go from general to specific. So I got home and I was like, look, I appreciate what you're doing. I was like as nice as I could be. I was like, there's no problems. I have already confirmed it with the ex. We will have the kids every day. I have already set everything out. However, you just booked it and didn't ask me on the dates again.
Right.
And I didn't say this, but in my head, which was for the vacation that you were doing because you just booked a vacation without asking me the dates.
Right. So, like you need to understand there is the possibility of inflexibility from the other party.
Right. And it did not go well. She got very mad and started to cry a lot and said how I was like, I don't remember exactly what she said because at this point I'm just like trying to keep like just a calm composure because I know she's not it's not purposeful, but it is a form of manipulation. Like, so
which parent or
my mom specifically. Like, my dad is on board, but he's like a silent on board. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, he's with her, but he's like, like at a distance with her on the subject. And I'm just like, look, I don't want to have an argument with you. I'm not mad. I just like, this is exactly what we talked about. So then we have this conversation. Everything's said and done. I calmed her down. I assured her everything's okay. I just want some more confirmation before we do something like this. About an hour later, I'm walking through the room and Dad is like, "Get over here, get over here, get over here." I'm like, "Okay, what?" And they are currently booking a vacation for next year and want to confirm with me the dates. And I'm like, "Okay, I guess this is how we have to do it." So I now have a vacation scheduled in July of next year to go to, I think it's South Carolina, to some beach. And
Okay.
so yeah, that was fun. like I don't know. I don't like vacations that much to begin with. I'm okay with a staycation cuz I have the girls and everyone else is gone. I mean, I could do work stuff, but like I'm getting a full staycation next week. So, I'm getting a full 40 hours vacation just being at home with the girls. So,
Not a bad deal.
no. And I'd prefer that to driving what are they doing? Driving to Daytona, Florida and back. So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So they're starting tomorrow. They're going to get there sometime Monday night cuz they're taking a break in the middle. They're not driving the whole way. And they're
better
driving
take the car with good AC.
they're getting back Saturday.
Gas is so expensive.
I know.
So we were in July. We're going to Chicago, and we were gonna drive, but we decided that we're gonna take the train because it's just gonna be cheaper that way.
Yeah.
Than paying for gas.
Yeah,
And parking
I mean,
and...
I'm not sure a plane
definitely.
would be less expensive, but it might be
I don't want
close.
to take my toddler. I don't want to take my toddler on the plane. I think she can handle the train, but the airport and all of that, I don't know.
So in Thanksgiving of 2017, we took Emery and Cece on a plane, so they would have been 3 and 1, and like that was a bit rough. That was especially Emery, because Emery already at 5 doesn't like to sit still. At 1, oh man.
Mine's pretty good if you bring enough things to rotate through an entertainer. But what I'm most worried about is I feel like this is going to be common with a lot of kids who didn't get to do stuff in quarantine, like normal things, is like the novelty being in these new situations. They want to explore everything, and I'm like, please sit down. Like I took her to a restaurant for the first time a couple weeks ago, and she's like rubbing the walls, and every time the waitress comes to the table, she's like, "Hi, this is my braid. This is my," like just pointing everything out on the table, and I'm like, "Oh yeah. Gosh, just never done anything normal in your life," and this is...
No, Emery gets that way. Emery is like, she like overshares really hard. And like, not just that, but she'd be like, "This is my daddy. He's divorced." Like, he's like, "He doesn't have a girlfriend. He's by himself." Like, I'm just like, "Wow, kid, thanks."
Oh my god, I love little kids, man. They're so funny.
We were at Applebee's, I think, and it was all of us. So it was my parents, my brother, myself, and the girls. And this woman comes up, and she really likes kids. We've got her a couple times if we gone there, and she's like, "Hey girls, welcome back." And Cece remembered her, but Emery didn't. And Emery was like, "Hi, this is my daddy." And then he's like, that's what she said, "He's divorced." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's like 3 years old by this point." Like he's like, and she's like, "He doesn't have a girlfriend." And I was like, "Yeah, she doesn't need to know that. She's like, it has nothing to do with our conversation here, Emery. Like, what are you doing?" Are you trying to set me up with this random waitress? Which actually, I did that to my brother once. We took him out for his birthday. He wasn't with anybody, and this is when I was still married. It was an Applebee's, actually. It was an Applebee's where I lived in Dayton. And it was just me.
Your brother secretly
my
colluded with your daughter.
No. Maybe. That could be it.
As revenge.
So my friend, which mostly Chauncey's friend, but he's my friend too, Ryan and I took Chauncey out to Applebee's when Chauncey used to live with me in Dayton. And this waitress comes up. She's kind of cute. And I was like, so we're getting drink orders. And Chauncey was like, whatever, lemonade. And Ryan got hit whatever he wanted. And I got an lemonade. I was like, so I need a strawberry lemonade and I need your number for my brother. And she was like, she got like blush and red. She's like, I would, but I have a boyfriend. And like, she got kind of giggly and stuff. And then Chauncey was like, I'm going to fucking kill you. Like, never do that to me. He's still, if I bring it up, he still gets angry. And this was like over 5 years ago. Like, I don't think I had kids. Like, this may be over 7 years ago then, if I didn't. Like, it was a long. Yeah, no, he lived with me, so I didn't have kids. So this had to be like 2014, maybe 2013. So yeah, it was a fun time. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I didn't do a ton of gaming outside of Blood Bowl, and I mostly worked and watched movies. Honestly, like all those movies I listed. Although there's a lot more nudity in 300, the second one, than I thought. There's like, they're just dragging away this topless woman in this one scene. I'm just like, okay, what? Why?
What year did it come out?
Oh gosh, I can probably just look at that from the page I had up earlier. I know that the first 300 came out when I was dating my ex-wife. Because we saw that in theaters with my brother, and that was funny. Because there's a really intense sex scene in that movie, and we didn't know about it. And I walked out to go to the bathroom right before it started, and I came back right when it ended. And she was like huddled up on my brother's arm, like trying to hide herself. I was like, is it safe to look yet? Like, I was like, what happened? I'm like, why is she like this? And like, and Chelsea was like, oh, there was this really graphic sex scene. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I just exactly missed it. So I click on it. 2014.
2014. So it's like kind of past that window of we hate women in movies.
Yeah. 2007 was the first one. So 7 years later, they'd have the other Rise of Empire. That one's, it's very different. It's very different from the first one in a lot of ways.
What do you mean we hate women in movies?
Like all the like horror movies from like the early 2000s to like basically like 2000 to 2010. Like it's just like egregious, gratuitous violence against women for no reason in tons of movies, not just horror movies, but just a lot.
Yeah. I don't think 300 had any of that. 300 has a pretty nasty rape scene against a woman.
Well, it came out in 2007, so
it's to the plot, and she definitely gets her revenge. Like she definitely gets back at the guy for it. But it's weird. It's like a political favor thing that is forced upon her, and yeah, it's just not good at all. It's a very gross scene I don't like, but this one, it was just like randomly in the first 5 minutes of the movie, they're just showing a city getting ransacked, and of course there's a bunch of rape and pillaging going on because it's terrible all around. So they kind of show the woman getting dragged away. They show another woman getting raped later on, but not directly. It's kind of in the background, but they definitely, it is definitely noticed and talked about because basically it's the origin story of this little girl who like had to witness that happen to her mother, and then they killed her mother in front of her. and then she grew up to hate everybody and became sort of like the pseudo villain of the story. So
wonderful times.
yeah,
Sounds like a
other than
great,
that real
great movie.
gross stuff, it's a pretty decent movie. If you look, it's Zack Snyder, so the slow motion action stuff, it's just
Eh.
I enjoyed the first 300 action scenes. It's not
Maybe
better.
maybe that's what all the bad actors on YouTube were hoping for with the Schneider cut.
I seriously could not get
Just
through
gratuitous violence
that.
against women.
I seriously could not get through the Snyder cut. I got like
Never watched
maybe halfway through.
either the original or the Snyder cut. So
It's just like, why are we watching the Flash's bare feet in this slow motion music video? Like, I'm done with this. That's where I ended it. I couldn't get any further.
mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. If he runs too fast, his shoes are destroyed. But like, I don't need this.
And now, I don't know if you've seen the news, but now
Yeah,
Ezra Miller's in some hot water.
Ezra Miller's a mess.
Nope. I haven't seen that.
There's like alleged grooming and almost like as described by like the parents, like cult-like behavior.
Oh,
I
boy.
have not heard
Like,
that.
Keeping like their child in his vicinity with like drugs and stuff like that.
I think Ezra Miller goes by they pronoun. They last I heard was a bunch of violence in Hawaii, like attacking people, throwing chairs, getting taken.
Oh
out
no,
of
there's
public
more
places.
now.
Wow.
Here, let me.
Either way, Ezra Miller is a mess, and it seems to me that
As
almost
Ezra
everybody
Miller
that
grooming
they-
allegations deep in court cannot locate or serve the actor. They accuse the 29-year-old Justice League star of psychologically manipulating, physically intimidating, and endangering the safety and welfare of Dakota Iron Eyes, according to court documents obtained Thursday by the Times. The parents of an 18-year-old from North Dakota have obtained a protective order against the Flash star, Ezra Miller. But the teen's parents and law enforcement are having a hard time locating Miller to serve the actor with the order. Earlier this year, Miller had run-ins with the law in Hawaii. They pleaded no contest after an altercation at a bar in March, and Miller was arrested on suspicion of second-degree assault in April.
Wow.
we need to talk about Ezra.
Yeah. Ugh. What a good movie, but now kind of troubling
Right.
in context.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
like I said,
Tilda Swinton's character in that, I felt so bad for her character.
I never saw it, but I enjoyed the 300 movies with Zack Snyder. But you know, most of them, not the rape parts, not that part, but the action fighting. It's not all slow mo. It's weird because he does slow and he does fast, and it speeds up and slowed down a lot. So like you'll get a hit and it'll slow down, and then it'll go fast and then it'll get a hit and it'll slow down, and it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's it's pretty rough. I think I'm about taking the girls to see a movie this week, but I don't really know what's out that they would enjoy because I got to find things to do with them for a whole week. So I will have to look up what is playing this week because I don't know other than Jurassic Park, and they don't want to see that.
Or you don't want to be in a theater for 3 straight hours with 2 small children.
I took them to see How to Train Your Dragon 3. That was a nightmare for me. And that was like when I first moved back. So Emery would have been 2 and Cece would have been 4. And they liked the movie. They watched the show. But like Emery was just done. She was laying in the aisle like just like I don't want to be here, like.
Oh, I would be freaking
Lay in
out.
the aisle.
because-
That's so
Oh
dirty.
no, I was not.
Yeah.
I was about ready to walk out. Like I was just like, this feels bad. Like, oh no, are you kidding me? I'm looking at. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's only showing. Okay, cool. I was like, wait, is it only Jurassic Park and The Watcher playing at the Danbury near me? Okay, no. The Bad Guys is about the only one. Animated thing. Sonic's still playing. I took them to see Sonic weeks ago. Huh. And The Lost City is still playing, and I own that now. That's crazy. It's a Danbury though. They're a budget theater. They keep things a lot longer. The Bad Guys. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Animated movie about animals or something. Okay.
Oh, we still have to see Doctor Strange and the
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness.
I
Wait a
still have to
couple
see that
weeks.
too.
It's gonna be streaming.
With because it's been spoiled for me. Has it been spoiled for you? A
Please
certain
Please don't spoil.
Nope. Has not.
okay.
Has
Because
not
I'm
at
just
all.
waiting for it to stream in a couple weeks.
I
It is.
Yeah, I
haven't-
think that June 22nd is Doctor Strange, and June 23rd is Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Nice.
Jeez.
I was talking to Sasha last week about this, but I found a meme for Star Wars. It was General Beavis. It just had Beavis's head just slapped on General Grievous. Like it was just, I thought it was comedy gold. Like I was just
It
just
is.
rolling.
General Kenobi.
I never really watched Beavis and Butthead a lot as a kid, but I mean,
Same,
Really?
but I know like
Oh,
I
man.
know like the general thing that they're like really
yeah,
immature and do a lot of like laughing.
yeah,
They do some really. That was Jackass before Jackass was
a thing.
a
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, a lot of kids like that in South Park when I was in school, and I was still watching Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab. Like that was like my thing as a kid, watching those.
I mean, have you guys seen Jackass Forever at all?
Yes. Yes.
No,
Some of the, and then have you seen 4.5 at all yet on
Not
Netflix?
yet. Not yet.
Poor Danger Aaron doing
Dude.
the cup test.
oh no.
That, yeah, we were talking about that. We're like, I feel like he got it the worst out of everyone in that whole movie.
So you know how they did softball, pogo stick,
The
boxer,
MMA fighter.
and and then hockey player
Yes.
with a hockey puck.
Mhm.
In 4.5, they have a professional female bowler, and she uses the maximum weight that you're allowed to use, which is a 16-pound ball.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
And on the first one, it clips his leg and then hits the cup. They make him go back and do a second one, and she nails it like a right on with the bowling ball.
That's what was happening with the softball player too. That first one that she threw that hit him in the thigh, that would have nailed him, but he moved.
Yeah. Well, he moved for like 2 or 3 of
jeez.
them
Yeah.
because like he just kept psyching himself
mean-
out.
I mean, wouldn't you though?
Yes, 100%.
I mean, yeah. If it's going for the nuts, of course.
I'd move if it
wouldn't?
wasn't going for it. I don't want to get hit by a softball. There's nothing soft
also
about a
think the,
softball. It just wood.
Yeah. I also think it was funny when Aaron and Dark Shark, one of the newcomers, did the spider helmet, the
Yeah.
tarantula helmet thing,
I
and
was
he's just like he grabs onto the trainer, and he's got like Johnny Knoxville in the other, and he's just like holding onto them super tight as the tarantula is just like right in his face.
When
Yeah.
they put that vulture on his arm, and he's like eyes closed, face buried into the guy next to him, just screaming.
Oh, you know how they trap Aaron in a room with, and he's like locked down with the chair, and then
Yep.
the bear comes in. They
Yes.
they do the same with Dark Shark at one point, and
that's in 4.5.
in 4,
I gotta see that.
yeah, and he like tries to like take his shirt and like hide his face and like hide from the bear, pretend he's not there.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I see that stuff was funny in high school for me. Like now, I'm just like concerned for their safety. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so.
I feel like you can tell that they're all sober in this one.
Oh yeah.
It was a huge difference from the last Jackass movie.
Well, also there was a huge. They already know that they're like getting old, so there's certain limitations to like the stunts that they can do. But there was also like a whole bunch of drama around the movie because
of Bam.
Bam Margera wasn't in it because
Yeah, I saw
he was struggling with
wasn't
sobriety,
sober.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw something that like
which
this
is unfortunate.
YouTube video that popped up on like my home screen is like why Bam Margera isn't part of the new Jackass movie, and I'm like, skip, don't want to see that. But
It is sad. It is sad because he's like, I think so deep in his whatever is going on with him that like he doesn't recognize that they want to help him. Like they were going to put him through rehab so he could stay on to do the movie, and he like took it as an attack against him, and that they're all like called them all a bunch of names. And
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I think
had a
I
friend
think he's
who
possibly
went through
still got a lot of.
Yeah, I had a friend who went through something, and I helped him out in a big way. And then after he went home, so he stayed with me for a whole week because I was like, "You're not okay by yourself, so you're gonna stay with me." He ended up right as soon as he's getting home, just going on social media and just bashing me, saying I was controlling him the whole week and like that kind of stuff. So I've seen that happen. That yeah, it's a dark place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Mikey has talked about that on the podcasts about like addicts. You have to set boundaries and then adhere to those boundaries. So it is what it is, unfortunately.
Ultimately,
I think that Bam still has a lot of unresolved sorrow around the death of his friend Ryan Dunn. I mean, they basically seem like brothers. So
but I also think that they were all doing drugs like at a point where you also have arrested development with them. Like the inability to cope with it is because he's been doing drugs since he was a kid, with Ryan Dunn. And then to not be able to move past that because you don't have the coping skills and you haven't allowed like yourself to develop enough to even like consider stepping away from the lifestyle. Like you just stay there, you just stay in the thick of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have a fun story about Bam. So this girl I went on a date with told me a story that for prom she drove out to Bam's house out in California and asked him out to prom. He said no, but he did talk to her for a while, and every once in a while he apparently messages her. She showed me some of the messages.
Interesting.
I was like, that's crazy. That is a crazy story. I was like, and I was also like, so I'm nothing like Bam. Are we good? Like, if you're into Bam, like, this isn't me. Like, I'm not this guy. She said, no, we're good. Obviously, we didn't continue because I'm not dating her, but this was a while ago. This was my first date after the divorce. So 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. So good 4
Yeah.
years ago. Still talk to her though. She's one of the few people I still talk to. We're kind of friends now.
Mm-hmm. That's
It
cool.
just I thought it was interesting since he was like, you drove out there with a bunch of your friends to ask him to prom? Like, are you kidding? She's like, no, we just did it. I was like, okay. I don't know how you knew where he lived, but okay. It was just it's crazy. Is there anything else that you guys would like to chat about, or we good for tonight?
I think we good.
Okay. So we got a wild card episode coming up. I don't know what it's going to be. I have exhausted my dating stories, so we're not doing that again yet. Give me another couple years, and I'll have some crazy ones. Or Emery trying to set me up on dates. So yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll do something. I've been kicking around the idea of doing some music based one because we haven't done that with Sasha yet. We did that with Pan a couple times, but you know, kicking around.
Mm-hmm.
Had some ideas because I listened to a music list of like 100 most iconic video game songs, and like, granted, yeah, Super Mario 64 is going to be on there at least once, not 4 times. Come on, like at most twice. And then Ocarina of Time had 5 entries, and I was like, look, I'm a big Ocarina of Time fan, but not the Song of Storms of all things. Like, come on. And you already had other Zelda games on there, and some of these are just updated versions of that Zelda song. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I was very upset about that list, so that might be a good wildcard episode one day, but we'll see.
You just have it all be Katamari. Katamari music.
I usually turn the music off on the games.
Oh, the music is the best part.
No, maybe it is when like the first couple hours that you're playing, but it starts to get annoying.
I have 2 remixes that are on my playlist that are Katamari songs, and one of them is like a really weird, like it's a weird. I don't want to call it. Maybe it's a love song. I don't know. Based in Katamari. This is the main theme of the da 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 da, but it's like it's got this really weird tone to it. It's like one of the things that says I don't like to talk about you like you're an object, but you're my favorite thing is one of the lines, and stuff like that. Like this weird, really weird, like.
Oh, that's totally
Super...
the thing with Katamari music. Like, if you actually look up the lyrics, a lot of it is like darker than you'd expect.
Yeah,
yeah. That's also sort of like a common thing with like Japanese / like I would say Asian. Not trying to group everything together, but like Asian pop, a lot of it has like a lot darker lyrics and themes
that don't match
actual like music would suggest. Yeah,
I mean we talked about that a little last week with. That's why I like Bare Naked Ladies. Is a lot of their songs are a lot deeper than they sound. Like, 1 week is about 2 roommates having a problem. My favorite, Pinch Me, is about depression, and it just sounds like this kind of like happy little tiny upbeat thing. It's like it's literally about someone suffering depression.
I mean, there's also the forever now memed song, the all the other kids with the pumped up kicks,
yeah.
Better run faster than my
Mm-hmm.
Steal My Sunshine is another one that doesn't really match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple.
Maybe that's what we should do. Songs which lyrics don't match the music. It's one of the music.
Or when Ace goes robotic. That too.
Yeah.
No, I heard what you said though. Songs that don't match the lyrics. Or lyrics don't match the tone, I should say. Yeah. I understood what you said. You just You went super cyborg on us again.
Hell yeah. That's why I won. I'm a learning machine.
Yeah, I get it now.
He's a
I'm
learning
I'm a learning computer.
he's a learning AI. Oh no.
That's why he started picking
like-
C. I get it. I get it.
Oh.
I'm like the cyborgs in Detroit Become Human.
So I did something. I used to just like when I write them down, I would just like A, B, and C is just like top to bottom what I did. And this time I was like, no, I'm actually going to do it based on the order in which I rolled them. So there actually wasn't a good order for A, B, and C this time. So I'm trying to make it a little more random. So we'll get there. Still refining the process. Yeah, there are some bigger games in 2009 that I missed, but if we revisit it, we'll address those. Yeah, I'm tempted to do an 80s one, like a 1980 something, but like I'm afraid that we won't have 10 games to pick from that'll be notable enough.
Let's see. Let's pick a random year. 19. Let's go 87. Video games. I mean, you want to know what 1987 has?
Sure.
Metal Gear, Zelda 2, Punch Out, Contra, Doki Doki Panic, Final Fantasy, Mega Man, Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge, Dragon Warrior 2, Double Dragon, Wizards and Warrior Castlevanias 2. There's Maniac Mansion. There's a lot of good ones. So
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh, jeez.
What a series.
Talk about a weird series to have your friend bring over to your house to say, hey, let's play this tonight. Holy
I
cow.
just can't get over the Game Grumps playthrough of the college one, where he goes up in front of like a crowd of people. What's the deal with eggplants? They're not eggs. They're not plants. Some guy in the crowd. Fuck you! You suck! And then they just both Aaron and Dan just burst out into laughter.
Yeah. Like, it's Leisure Suit Larry is a very old and very weird series. Like, whole thing is you're trying to get laid, and the whole thing is you're never going to. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Just, but
Yeah,
actually,
because
no,
of their playthrough.
you do the one that my friend brought over. You can be successful with like the mascot girl, I think, which is really weird.
Yeah, because of their playthrough, I've started the second one, but I've gotten the two most recent games.
Okay.
Goofy. Just goofy all
I mean,
around.
they're supposed to be funny. It's not often that we get comedic games, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something we need more often is purposely comedic games. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, you have whole genre of movie comedy, but like games, there's not really comedy games that often.
Let's
There are a
let's
lot
get a
of them.
Halo game where Master Chief slips on a banana and gets stuck in the hospital for a year.
Or we could do like a Halo game where it's like the 40-year-old virgin and he loses his virginity, just like in the show.
Perfect.
Oh no. I told you guys that there was a lot of like counter backlash to that, right?
Like defending it?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it should.
I mean,
I don't know why people are upset about it.
I'd defend it under the mindset of who the fuck cares?
Well, okay.
That's same.
So the counterpoint, and this actually came from the Act Man that you were talking about. That I watched his video about it, and the Act Man was like, okay, or maybe it wasn't the Act Man, it was the other guy that I watched, G Man. There's G Man and Act Man, and they're both similar. And G Man was like, look, I'm a huge Halo fan. Here's why this is a problem. And one of the biggest things was The guy, the girl that he sleeps with is a Covenant spy arrested for being a Covenant spy, and he's just like, she gave me a nice look, so I'm gonna go in there. Like he's just like breaking all sorts of protocols and all sorts of character traits to go in and have this sex scene. Apparently,
Wait, so she's been exposed as a spy at this point?
yes, and in jail
She's
for
been
being a
exposed as
spy.
a spy, and then they have sex.
Yes.
So he's doing the police officer thing. Wonderful.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of things that are anti-character about that scene that a lot of people were upset about. I was like, okay, I get why you're upset now. Not that
But also, how do they know though? Like how do they know that he wouldn't do that? Because there's nothing sexy in Halo at all. So like there's no opportunity for that character development to have occurred.
I don't have an investment either way. That was the points that he was making. So like
I mean, honestly, I just really thought he wanted Cortana, like, to be honest.
I think everyone wanted Cortana, and I don't think that can happen because she's not real. Neither is Master Chief. So
like
but she's extra
Futurama style with, unless if you do it like Futurama style with like a robot that can project the replication of the entity over its metal chassis.
Weird.
She just fully integrates with his suit.
Oh shit. So those are the realistic those are the realistic gaming suits we're going for, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just imagine him,
so that's
Master
what,
Chief like
Ready
waking
Player
up
One was setting up,
and Cortana being like, "Good morning, handsome," and it's just like, what the crap?
My god. It's like that movie. Is it Her?
Yeah.
Or he's in love with the robot. Yeah.
Yeah. And she basically buys a hooker
Ready Player
for him.
One.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on Ready Player One. I read the books and the movie I haven't even watched, and it already kills so many things that were good about the book. Ugh.
That was one of the rare instances where I watched the movie instead of reading the book. It was all right, I guess.
It was one of the very few times I've actually read a book that was actually popular at the time because my friend suggested it to me. So I actually read it. I bought it for like on Amazon, but I had it digitally, so I read it on my phone, which was a very weird experience for me. But I read it. I read the whole thing, and I really enjoyed the book. Now the book has its own problems for sure, but like the movie was just like, hey, you know, all this really cool stuff that they were trying to do in the book, fuck that. Let's put Iron Giant in there. Let's make it a bunch of references.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like,
yeah, that's one of the major criticisms I heard about it, was that it's just a lot of
and as
fan service and reference.
As an avid,
it's live action Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, and as an avid fan of the state I live in Ohio, which is where this is supposed to be set-ish, there's a lot of things that the book did that were really cool. That, as far as like referencing places in Ohio, that doesn't happen in the movie. The movie, it's like it's all in Columbus. It's all in Columbus, Ohio. Everything, all the things, and it's like no. There was a big portion of the whole key hunt that was supposed to be searching through 1980 Middletown, Ohio. Like the books were like the big thing about the first key was like in Middletown, and Middletown. It sounds like it. It's like this little suburb in Ohio that's between Dayton and Cincinnati, and I knew about it because I lived by it. But also my late grandfather lived there for a while. It was the bad grandpa, so we didn't see him too often. But you know, I knew the area, and to hear like, oh wait, they're referencing Middletown, so like they have some knowledge about Ohio and, you know, geography and that kind of stuff, and then it's all in Columbus, and also the character wasn't supposed to be in Columbus. The character's from Kansas City, like there's a whole thing about a road trek. There's a road trip in the book that goes to Columbus. Like there's a whole section of the book that doesn't matter. And like and there's a big thing about like um your avatar versus your physical self too. And I guess they touch on that in the movies I heard, but in the books like he's like obese. He's like super overweight and he gets in shape because he has to use his bicycle to charge up his VR thing. Like he gets in shape having to
Nope.
like do
Nope.
this.
In the movie, he's just like
any Hollywood guy. Yeah, like
Oh yeah,
mob
and the
actor.
girl,
Yeah.
the girl has just like the birthmark on her face, but she's still beautiful. We're supposed to like feel bad for her.
oh no, the girl. He doesn't in the book. She's not even a love interest in the book. She's a friend, like 100%. She's in the if I'm remembering correctly, because this was like 2013 that I read this, right? But she's this also overweight, like black girl who's like 13, that like I think she was gay too in the book. Like she was just like they were just friends, and they met online.
I think that's the best friend
Okay.
in the movie.
Okay. Maybe I have it mixed because it's been 2013. I don't remember, but there wasn't. I don't think there was a love interest in the book outside of like the friend.
So basically, consistent with all patterns is that the book was better than the movie.
Yes, much so. And again, but it was referencing games like Joust and like a lot of 1980 games. It wasn't a lot of new stuff. There was some new stuff, but like it was very weird to be learning a lot about these arcade games from the 80s in this book that was supposed to be in the future.
Yeah.
But that was the thing is the guy was obsessed with games in the 80s.
Well, yeah, and the guy's dead, so why would he have programmed the game to have new stuff in it?
Right. Exactly.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think Ready Player One is on some of the streaming services that we have. I think it's on HBO.
Yeah,
So I might watch it at some point.
I already know how much it's wrong having never watched it. I don't want to make myself more angry by watching it. Like I just
honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was visually very
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
But my kid enjoyed watching that.
Okay.
I mean, in watching it vicariously through some content creators on YouTube that I like for reviews and whatnot, and then in watching Free Guy myself, I definitely think that Free Guy is the better video game movie.
I mean,
certainly is more realistic, I would say, with like the player action of like running into a wall and jumping everywhere
as about
being
a fictional video game.
Shit.
Yes, as a fictional video game, that is a very good. I love Free Guy. Free Guy is really good. I will say, if you want to talk about a video game movie adaptation, I think my favorite right now, having rewatched it, is Rampage, because there's so many cool things that it incorporates from the games that you wouldn't even notice unless you played the games. And they're just like little small things. Like there's this point where Lizzie, which they don't really name, I do like there's this little thing because like the characters, they always have the names, like it's Lizzie, Ralph, and George, and you hear George for sure, but they like the government guy who's sort of pseudo debriefing The Rock is like, oh yeah, and these internet, what do you call them, yahoos or something, these internet idiots are calling him Ralph. Internet sickos, I think is what he called them. Internet sickos are naming him Ralph, and I was like, yeah, that's Ralph from the game. He's the wolf. So, like, there's like a lot of like cameos, but they made what turned into, it was just like a arcade game of beat up a city and get points for it, and they turned it into an actual cohesive plot. Now, people won't agree with me that it's cohesive, but it's better than the game. Right, like it's an actual attempt at what the game's doing, and the game ends with you in Chicago, and the final showdown is in Chicago, and it is beating up a radio tower on top of a building, So like there's a lot of things that were quite true to the game. They actually consulted one of the original creators of Rampage on it too. Like I heard about this because my good friend who's the game store owner, they had a booth that was across from the original creator of Rampage, and they talked to them about it a couple weeks ago at a convention. And I have a signed poster from the game and stuff too. And apparently, when he was on set, he went on set to go consult during the movie. The Rock was like, "Hey, come get a picture with us." Like the Rock wanted a picture with the creator. Like he was like, "I want a picture with this guy." So like, I don't know. I love that movie. I think there was a lot of love put in that movie, and it got panned hard. Like, because it was a video game movie, and it's literally about monsters beating up a city. Like, oh well. Although I love the way they did Lizzie in that, being a crocodile. They made try to make it make sense.
Like I was gonna say earlier with Jurassic Park, I don't really take movie reviews and critiques into consideration. If I'm interested in something, I'm just gonna go see it and form my own opinion.
Right, but a lot of people do, and it can hurt. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got a knock. Yeah. Still recording.
Checks.
Okay.
Until Thursday. Mail these out Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. Sean's taking care of some office stuff where he has to go. He he has to do the checks early because pay week is next week and he's gone. So
makes sense.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we said we were going to end 20 minutes ago. So
Yep.
Thanks everyone for watching. We will catch you next time. And it'll be a wild card episode, and then after that will be the week before Sunbreak, and Ace and I will be talking about Sunbreak probably because this Monday is the last trailer. So
by then I might have my huge boy. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to follow us. You can follow Ace at Ace Badger Gaming on Twitter. I skipped myself because I was stuck on Ace's one in my brain. And then at Hunters Hub Pod on Twitter and here on Twitch as well. And if you're just a listener, SoundCloud, Spotify, or whatever, please, consider writing a review or whatever you want to do. We have a couple of iTunes reviews, mostly positive. I think I have one we have one star. With no comment. But so yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.